President Trump is expected to meet virtually today with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky ahead of a meeting that's scheduled with Russian President Vladimir Putin Friday. That's happening in Alaska. Meantime, the White House defending the president's move now to take over law enforcement in the nation's capital. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest.
A new site for tourists at some of Washington, D.C.'s most visited landmarks as hundreds of National Guard troops began deployments in the nation's capital overnight, joining D.C. police now under federal control for 30 days on orders from President Trump, who declared a public safety emergency.
We are removing as many criminals from the streets and we are cleaning up D.C. as best as we can.
The White House touting 23 arrests Monday night by federal agents from homicide to guns and drugs, also promising to remove homeless encampments and move people to shelters for services or to jail if they refuse.
These are pre-existing laws that are already on the books. They have not been enforced.
Protesters and critics in Congress slamming what they call a manufactured crisis and presidential overreach.
He's taking away checks and balances.
City leaders pointing to dropping violent crime stats over the past 2 years. The mayor meeting with the attorney general, promising to make the most of the surge in federal resources while criticizing what she called an authoritarian push.
We all need to do what we can in our space, in our lane, to protect our city and to protect our autonomy.
It all comes as the Trump administration is also focused overseas, preparing for Friday's summit in Alaska between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, which the White House now calls a listening session, confirming Ukrainian President Zelensky will not join, though he is speaking by phone today with President Trump and European allies, pushing for Ukraine to have a voice in ending the Russian assault. The White House emphasized that it was Putin who asked for the Alaska summit and that President Trump hopes to hold a trilateral meeting, including President Zelensky, before long, while the Ukrainian leader said Russia is only stepping up its attacks and that it's impossible to talk about Ukraine without Ukraine. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.